Hello and welcome to Weekly MTG. We've got one of my favorite shows this week because this weekend is the pre-release for the Lost Caverns of Ixalan, and as such, we are going to open up some stuff to give you a first peek at what it looks like to open this product. So when you head into your local game store this weekend, you can figure out what works for you. And we're just going to jump into it because we got all the things to open. Well, most of the things. We've got collector boosters, we've got draft boosters, we got set boosters. We're going to start with the pretty stuff, and then we'll move into these a little bit. This will also be, the last set where we do set boosters. So we'll chat a little bit about that. But there's some pretty cool stuff, not only in the collector boosters, but the set boosters as well, thanks to an updated list and the Jurassic World stuff, which is all very cool. But yeah, we'll start with the collector boosters. So collector boosters this time around and other booster boxes have a treasure trove box topper. So you'll find one of these in any of the boxes that you purchase. So this is the collector booster. We'll open this one, see what this one looks like. So these are all artifacts with updated art for in order to match the setting. Try to get this out. Here we go. All right, so we have Expedition Map. You can see that box topper there. There we go. Oh, look, we got zoom. It's the first one of these in the new setup. We've got a whole studio here, and it's pretty cool. All sorts of fancy things. All right. Next up, we're going to go through some collector boosters, and we'll talk about each of the slots, kind of what you can get in them. I encourage you, if you have specific detail-oriented questions, like about the probabilities of opening certain treatments, I can answer them. But a lot of that stuff is going to be cleanly answered in the article Collecting the Lost Caverns of Ixalan, which is on WeeklyMTG, and is going to have all the breakdown and all of that. But we are going to go through all of these so that you can have a sense of what each of these slots is. So if you open a collector booster, you're going to start off with 4 traditional foil commons. Grave Ruin, Glorifiers of Suffering. That's going to move into 3 uncommons. So we've got spring-loaded saw blades, double-sided, of course. Scytheclaw Raptor, Abyssal Gorestalker. So then you're going to get the amuse-bouche of the pack. I did not pronounce that correctly. Which is going to be the core full art basic land in foil. So this is the island, and these are, of course, gorgeous. And then once there we go, a little zoom action. All right, and then after the basic land, so this is going to be what I'm going to start calling the uncommon fancy slot. So there are a number of things that you can get in this slot. You can get, of course, as you see here, the borderless dinosaurs treatment. You can also get the Legends of Ixalan, which come in uncommon. You can also get uncommon special guests in this slot here. So that uncommon slot can have a bunch of stuff. So we'll put that right there. Then we're going to move into the rares and mythics. So the next slot is going to be a main set foil rare mythic, traditional foil, no fancy frame. And then we're going to hit the non-foil extended. This is going to be from the main set. That's going to go right here. And then the next one is going to be extended from the commander set. So either one of the set booster exclusives or one of the commander deck cards, it's going to be extended. You can get foil in this slot. So most of these are going to be non-foil, but you can get foil. And then we go into what I'm calling the non-foil fancy slot. So this can be any number of showcase times. We'll see some examples of what these can be. And then you land in the Jurassic World slot. This one is always going to be a card from the Jurassic World collection in the set. You see Rex and the set symbol over here. Got a Grim Gigantosaurus, which is pretty sweet. And then you're going to land, oh, okay, so this is a nice hit. So the final slot is going to be the foil fancy slot, which means it can be basically any special card in the set, whether it's a special treatment from the main set or anything. It's going to be in foil. It's going to be a rare mythic. In this case, we hit one of the special guests. So this is Thrasios Triton Hero. So that shows special guests can show up in this slot, the foil fancy rare slot, and also the foil fancy uncommon slot. So that's a really cool one to open there. We got Thrasios Triton Hero. And then it ends with a token. So that's kind of the layout. You hit the uncommons. I don't know if producer Sean can zoom out here. But you hit the, there we go. You hit the uncommons. You hit the commons and uncommons. You hit the rares. You hit the fancy stuff in the token. All right, let's keep going. Yeah, the lands are really nice. Welcome, Valos Ronin, to Magic. It's pretty great. It's pretty great, says the guy who's dedicated basically his life to it. All right, so again, we'll go through it. So we've got 4 foil commons. A lot of cool stuff here. We're going to go through more commons and uncommons when we get to the draft booster, because we'll talk about first picks and that sort of stuff. All right, uncommons, Belligerent Yearling. So you see the 2 different versions of Belligerent Yearling there. Spelunking, great card name. We hit another island here. Can't hate that. Okay, so this shows another one of the uncommon treatments. So this is the Legends of Ixalan treatment here. Zoyoa, I don't know how to pronounce that. Lava Tongue. So that is that treatment that it looks really cool in foil. All right, so that is this same slot here in uncommon. Then we hit the foil rare from the main set, and it's going to be entirely a normal version. Then we hit extended non-foil from the main set. Extended commander card. This one can be non-foil. And then we hit, so again, here's the non-foil rare. This is this same slot. So it can be one of the special treatments. In this case, we got the Legends of Ixalan treatment. Then we hit the Jurassic World slots, in this case, Command Tower. And the cool thing about the, and we'll get to that last card in a second, Jurassic World cards, they're double-sided. They show when everything's nice, and then after the dinosaurs break out and take over. Yeah. And then finally, foil fancy slot. Well, almost finally. There's a foil token behind it. Foil fancy slot, in this case, we get the borderless version of one of the creature lands, Restless Reef, which looks really cool. Onward. I do not, so the question about arena and special guests in Jurassic World, I believe the answer is no, but I am not 100% on that at the moment. So the list is currently not something that arena brings in. Special guests are on the list. However, starting with Murders at Karlov Manor, when we introduce play boosters, the list will be part of the draft experience, and arena will take the list in. The list will be even smaller than it is for the Lost Caverns of Ixalan, and all of that will be part of it, with a few exceptions, which we've talked about on the show before. But that's for Murders at Karlov Manor. We'll talk about that when we get there. All right, Duskrow's Reliquary. This card's really good, by the way. We did a sealed event on my team, and I had this, and that card's very good. Thrashing Brontodon. Glad to have you back. Foil version there. Vanguard of the Rose. All right, now we get the foil core planes. Really cool there. And then uncommon borderless dinosaur, uncommon fancy slot, foil rare, and then extended rare mythic from the main set. This card's really good. Card's really good. And then extended from the commander set. Fancy rare or mythic from the main set. Restless Ridgeline here. So again, that's another treatment that you can get here. That's the dinosaur. I see extended, the lands have that borderless. Here is the Jurassic World Mountain, and you can see double-sided. And then we've got the foil fancy, and this is Warden of the Inner Sky. Nice little one drop there, and a map token. I mean, the map token looks fantastic in foil as well. There's an angel. All right, let's keep going, and we'll do this collector booster box. And then we will do either draft boosters or set boosters. I'll kind of let you choose. All right. Commons. I do love the staggering size with the capybara. Commons, 3, 4. Uncommons. Careening Minecart. Jade Seedstones. Another Plains. Captain Storm. Again, uncommon, legendary frame. Amelia Benavides Aguirre, or Amalia. And my best friend growing up was a Benavides. Totally worthless personal fact there for all of you. All right, Merfolk Spirit. So again, that's the extended from the main set. And then, so this is one wrinkle. So I have been noting that this is extended from the commander set. Now, you can get, as you see here, the legendary frame for a card from the commander set. Typically, you're going to get one of these extended, as you can see, but Admiral Brass Unsinkable is the headliner, actually, for the Pirate Commander deck. All right, and then we have, so this shows another treatment here. This is the Blood Letter. And then Jurassic World double-sided land. Let's get that out there. And then foil fancy. So here we have our first extended. Foil extended. Right in that slot right there. All right, let's keep going. We will definitely do some pack one, pick one with draft boosters. Austria, good evening. We got 1 vote for set boosters, 1 vote for draft boosters. We'll do both, but we'll get to it. All right, Petrify, also excellent removal. I'm getting ahead of myself to the draft booster section. Brackish Blunder. I will, since this is here, Petrify, again, I said we did an event last week. The fact that this can enchant artifacts in this set is actually huge. I said I shut down someone's treasure map with it. It was great for me, not for them. Grasping Shadows, Cavernous Maw, really strong cave card. Ruin Lurker Bat. Okay, here's the Swamp. We'll get a good look at each of these Paradise lands. Yeah, these are gorgeous, as usual. And Kutzel. And then we get a Restless Prairie for our main set foil rare. And then Sunken Citadel for the main set extended. Okay, so here is showing that this is, again, this slot. So it's a commander card. This is where you can get these extended versions in foil. So Altar of the Wretched is a command. This is actually one of the set booster exclusives as well, Altar of the Wretched. So Transforms. So that came out of that slot. So you can get a variety of things there. Here's Kellen. Kellen's special, and Kellen gets borderless treatments because Kellen is special. So Kellen, that's what Kellen looks like in the special non-foil slot. So you can see kind of the variety over here in this non-foil slot of what you can get. There's borderless, there's the different treatments, and then there's our special little Kellen. All right, and then in the Jurassic World slot, we've got Owen Grady, Raptor Trainer. And then in the foil fancy slot, we've got Unstable Glyph Bridge. Crafting card that turns into a Sand Swirl Wanderglyph. All right, that foil extended. Let's keep going. Random question: with the Cosmium promo on both Craven and on both Cavern and Crypt, is there a difference of rarity with the alternate colors, like last time with the Neon Ink promos? Yes, there is a difference in rarity between the different colors, and one of them is even a store promo. So again, if you really want me to, I can dive into the differences on those rarities, but I highly recommend checking out Collecting the Lost Caverns of Ixalan. If you Google that, it is oddly enough the second, even if you Google the exact title, it is the second item down. This card's good. It's not Bloodbraid Elf, but I guess he's getting there. All right, here's the mountain. We haven't seen the mountain yet. Also gorgeous. Earthshaker Dreadmaw. I remember in the debut, just so many people asking for Colossal Dreadmaw. And in the back of my head, I'm like, we printed a slightly better one. Sorry. Be great for the memes, but this card does a little bit more in draft. You would still play Colossal Dreadmaw in draft, but Poetic Ingenuity. Corpses of the Lost. I had in that team play event I was talking about, I had this card. It was really fun. Led me to keep trying to find ways to descend. Strong card. Wrathful Raptors. Echoing Deeps. Again with that fantastic art style. Jurassic World Forest, we just saw one of those. And then Preacher of the Schism for Foil Fancy. All right, keep going. I'd have settled for a Gigantosaurus too. You might have joined us a little bit late. We got a Gigantosaurus earlier. Very pretty. Make sure we can get that. There we go. I got to give the cards the Mox treatment to make sure that they show up. Of all the basic land art debuting with Ixalan, which land and which variant is your personal favorite? The basic land art. Man, you know, it's I'm a blue player. I'm a sucker for islands, but you know, I find myself every set really enjoying the plains for some reason. The plains of the special ones has been my favorite for a long time. It just feels like sweeping majesty is the only way I can describe it. But I think the plains is probably my favorite in that core treatment for Ixalan. But the nice thing about having a number of options, and we'll see some of the non-core basic lands when we open the draft and set boosters. Nice thing about having the options is you can see, you know, what is your favorite and go with that. I know a lot of people are going to like the Jurassic World lands because they're really cool. Having them be double-sided also lets you like use the same land to give your deck different flavors, have the dinosaurs taken over or the dinosaurs contained. So there's a lot of good stuff there. This card is, if there's gonna be a dinosaur deck in Standard, this card will be there. Probably. All right, Mountain. Baby Gishath. Foil main set Restless Reef. Here's Journal. Extended from, this is another collector booster card. Nice, so this is the God Treatment. O'Hare Talk. This is coming from here. And then we've got the Jurassic World Swamp. And then we've got Magmatic Galleon for our foil fancy card. And a Fungus Dinosaur for the token. All right, we've got 5 more of these collector boosters, and then we'll jump into either set or draft. I've seen 1 vote for set and 1 vote for draft. We're going to do both. But let me know which one you want to see first. All right. Tithing Blade, also really strong. It's just an edict, but it's an edict that transforms into something late game. What was that dual face swamp? So the Rootgate, I'm going to pause there for a moment because the Rootgate asked about the dual face swamp. So in Jurassic World, in the Jurassic World slot, there are basic lands that depict scenes from Jurassic World. They are all double-faced, and they all have sort of the same motif, where in one, on the front side, it's everything's normal, everything's cool. On the back side, the dinosaurs have broken out. So in that slot, there will be, I think those are the 2, here's the Mountain. This is non-foil. Everything's fine. Everything's not fine. So that's what those double face cards are. Set first, so I can set. Okay, cool. Yeah, they are pretty neat. Uchbenbach, Trumpeting Carnosaur. This card is also ridiculous. Discover 5, and you can always just discard it to deal 3 damage or something. All right, Braided Net, Contest of Claws. Love that card. Malcolm over here. Put him here. We'll get these in the non-foil rare fancy slot. Then we've got Compy Swarm. Again, this is for that Jurassic World slot right here. So every collector booster will have 1 Jurassic World card. Compy Swarm. And then Restless Events. That art's really cool as well. Alex Kittner killed it there for foil extended. All right, a couple more of these. Does Contest of Claws come in foil? So Contest of Claws is this one. Yes, so this slot here with extended commander cards can, as you see here, have foil cards. So Contest of Claws does exist in foil. All right, 2, 3, 4, Volatile Fault. I like this as a new take on the destroy target non-basic land. It's a little cheaper to use, but it only gives you a treasure instead of your own basic land. That's cool. All right. Plains, Rampaging Ceratops, Everflowing Well. A very strong draw 2. Oh, there's the backside as well. Here he had pools. Yep, Field of Ruin. Creature of the Schism here. We got a dinosaur egg. I love it. It's adorable. Throne of the Grim Captain here. Crafting into the Grim Captain, of course. And then I loved leading with this when we previewed it. Welcome to Jurassic Park. Really clever card. What is the rarest card? The rarest cards are going to be the Cosmium, Neon Ink, Mana Crypt, or Cavern of Souls. I forget which color is the rarest off the top of my head, but it's in the collecting article. That is the rarest card in this set. All right. Almost done with the collector boosters. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, basic planes. Thrashing Bronzodon. Again, this card has been in a multi-format all-star, so getting this with a cool borderless treatment is really nice. Ghalta, Stampede Tyrant, Elder Dinosaur. Boiler's Awakening, Stormfleet Negotiator, Kellen, Spitting Dilophosaurus. So again, we're over here in the Jurassic World section. And then Saheeli Sun's Brilliance for the foil fancy. Some treasure. Actually, this is Jurassic World treasure. When is the next B&R announcement? Yes, 3 weeks after the set releases is correct. So the next B&R announcement will be on December 4th. December 4th. And we are actually going to have the team come on weekly, some of the team. A couple members of the team that is in charge of the B&R list, they're going to be coming on the show on November 28th. To talk about overall philosophy and sort of give some initial thoughts before the actual announcement on the 4th. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Here's the forest. We hadn't gotten a forest yet. I'm glad we got to one. Forest might be my second favorite behind the plains. Again, it's got that sense of sweeping majesty overlooking all of this, which I think is what I like about these. All right, Merfolk. Excited to see what Merfolk break out from this set. I don't want to say I'm a big Merfolk fan, but I have a Merfolk Commander deck. I've played Merfolk. This card is unbeatable, by the way, in Limited. One of the guys in our team had it and just destroyed people. Okay, so this is Cavern of Souls. This is from the main set, but we got it in this fancy slot. So this is one of the alternate versions of Cavern of Souls, non-foil. That's a pretty cool hit. And then I'm going to address that in a sec. So Command Tower, we saw that earlier. Double-sided Stalactite Stalker. So Parkmania wrote, I'm still salty that the last B&R was relegated to a single sentence with the rest of the page hijacked to announce play boosters. Okay, so the rest of the page was not hijacked in that sense. It was because we knew play boosters was the big announcement of the day, and we also knew that there would be a lot of traffic to the B&R page. But there was also no B&R news, so we could give our normal, no changes, whatever, but we wanted to make sure that people saw the Play Booster announcement because it was so important. And so cross-linking between pages is a good way to do that. I get that it rubbed people the wrong way, but I think it rubbed people the wrong way not because of the cross-posting, but because there were no changes, and people were looking for changes. So totally hear that, and totally get that. The intention was not to sell Play Boosters. You couldn't buy Play Boosters at that time. But it was because we knew that the big news of the day was going to be Play Boosters, and we wanted to make sure that people saw that. So I understand, but that definitely was not the intention. Yes, these are collectors, boosters. There are not serialized cards in this set. There are special cards. You can get some stamped Jurassic World cards. You can get the Cosmium Neon Ink. So there's plenty of cool stuff to open without serialized cards. Let's see, Mountain. All right, this is the last collector booster for now. All right, the Green God, both sides, Temple of Cultivation. All right, from the Rubble, Breaches. I am seeing a number of questions that are not about Caverns of Ixalan, but I'll try to answer them as I can. All right, Get Lost. I love this art. This card is also just really powerful. All right. Okay, let's do set boosters. We're about halfway through the show, so we'll move on to set boosters, and then we will dive into some pack one, pick one. All right, let me see if I can answer some of these questions. Is the double-sided command tower tournament legal? Yes. All double-sided cards are tournament legal. All the Jurassic World cards are legal in either Eternal formats, or if they are a reprint of a Commander card like Command Tower, they're legal in all formats that card is legal in, which is all tournament formats. All right. Treasure Trove. Let's open this up. Yeah, that Get Lost card, it looks real good. Great, thanks Jason for answering the Magic on Chicago info. It's coming up. Aiming to get that up in November. Lots of cool stuff. So we'll have prices and all of that sort of stuff. Okay, in previous PNR announcements, even with no changes, still discuss the whys of decision making. That's where I feel more upset. So the why was simple in that nothing had really changed since the previous BNR announcement. The formats had not shifted since the previous announcement. We made the decision, right or wrong, and you can argue with this, that the focus that day really needed to be on Play Boosters because that was the big announcement. That was the sort of seismic shift. And so we made the decision, again, right or wrong, to focus on Play Boosters. And if we focused on our decision making behind the BNR announcement, which boiled down to not much had changed since the previous BNR announcement, then it would have been distracting. So again, you can argue with that, but that was where we landed. All right, here, box stopper, wedding ring. Pretty nice. All right. I'm gonna sneeze. Excuse me. All right, set boosters. All right, so set boosters are the last time with Ixalan. After that, we don't get draft and set, only Play Boosters and collector. Correct. Yes, that is correct. Now, there are still some cool things in set boosters. One of the cool things we did for Lost Caverns of Ixalan set boosters was we took the list and we slimmed it down. So the list used to be, I'm citing numbers from memory here, so take these with a grain of salt. The list used to be 300 or 400 cards. It is now down to 30 or 40. Including the special guests. So you can get the special guests in a set booster card where the list was. So in this case, we got a token. All right, So we got Watley's Final Strike for a foil. Victoria's Canned for our rare mythic. We're gonna have to do this next one backwards. All right. Fancy. We got some uncommons. We got some commons. Does the list change every set? Yes. And that's going to be even more true going forward. And then here's the art card. All right, we're gonna do these backwards. The token had something about Colossal Dreadmont. Yep. There's a QR code. Eventually we'll get the Colossal Dreadmont. I honestly don't know if that QR code is alive at this point. But judging by the art style, I'm sure you can all make some guesses what that leads to. Let's see. Will we see more caves in future sets? Maybe. All right. We've got the art card. This is Throne of the Grim Captain. We're gonna go backwards because it goes. Commons are in the back here. Skullcap Snail, Deep Goblin, Skull Taker, Battle Glyph. Moving over here. So one thing to note with these set boosters is the commons are often connected. So you'll see you got a black run here. That is something when we move to play boosters that we're moving away from. It is not feasible for drafting to have connected commons, so we're just not going to do that. Stone Tree. Well, this is nice. So what's happening here is we're getting multiple rares. All right, lots of rares. So we ended up with, in this set booster, 3 rares or mythics. Here's the foil. Because there are slots for 2 wild cards. That's what these are. I think I messed that up in the last pack. And then 1 rare or mythic. So the rare or mythic is the Green God. And then the 2 wild cards, we happen to hit on 2 rares. So that is fantastic. Or actually, no, you know what? Not wild card. I think this is the... Nope, these are both wild cards. So wild card slot, and then there is a double-faced slot as well right before that. All right. All right, we're gonna go, yeah, we're gonna keep going this way. All right, so art card. Connected commons, uncommons, 3 uncommons. I will note, I said I'm calling these connected commons, but actually there is a cave slot. That's why you've seen a cave in each of these. There was a foil in the first one, hidden necropolis in these other 2. Uncommons, then we get to the double-faced slot. This must be the wild card slot. Yep, wild card slot. You can get the Jurassic World cards there. Other wild card, foil. Nope, I messed that up. Rare. All right, let's try this again. Will there be a common of each color in the play boosters? No, it won't be. It won't be balanced like that. Basically, play boosters will be balanced color-wise, the same way draft boosters will for commons. So you shouldn't see any difference there. All right. So token, got Jurassic World. Treasure token. Then we've got the Mineshaft Spider for the foil. Going this direction. It's easier to keep track of this direction. All right, Pugnacious Hammer Skull for the rare mythic. And then we hit the wild card slot. Jurassic World card. Earthshaker Dreadmaw, again in the wild card slot. We've got 3 uncommons here. Lava Tongue. And instead of a cave, we got a basic land. All right. Didn't know the basics were double-sided, so these are the Jurassic World ones, and you say why? It's because they depict 2 scenes. So one is everything's fine in Jurassic World, everything's not fine in Jurassic World. So you can see the plains here as well. Everything's fine, beautiful. Things are not fine. So that's why those are double-sided. All right, we're gonna do one more set booster, and then we're gonna move into draft boosters for a little pack one, pick one. All right, there's the art card, token, foil, family reunion. All right, rare mythic, DFC. Uncommon, 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 uncommon. So our wild cards were uncommons is basically what it comes down to there. And then there's the cave slot. All right, let's look at the draft boosters. Yeah, thanks for sharing that link. Real Peels, Color Balance, and Play Boosters is in the Q&A. We do have a lot of resources about Play Boosters if you want to look further into them. But again, to emphasize it, Play Boosters are starting with the Murders at Karlov Manor set. Set boosters are still the name of the game for the Lost Caverns of Ixalan. And the set boosters have some pretty cool stuff in them. Put this over here. All right. We'll do the treasure trove box topper first. And we got Strionic Resonator. Very nice. All right, draft booster. Worth noting, you can get these token cards in here that give you punch-out counters and all of that sort of stuff to work with. All right, so now for draft boosters, they also have a cave or basic land slot. So this slot here will have either a cave or a core full art land. So one of the cool core lands can show up here. A lot of the time it's going to be a cave to make all that cave stuff in draft matter. We got a foil. It's not always a foil, but you can get a foil. This is our rare, Restless Vents. Pretty good rare. Let's see what we got. This card is Solemn Simulacrum at home and is still very good in a set you want to craft with. So a couple things to note when you're drafting. Ooh, Merfolk Scout. Artifact creatures are a little bit more valuable. I'm going to use the space that I have a little bit more efficiently. Artifact creatures are a bit more valuable because when you're crafting with something, so for example, Tithing Blade crafts with a creature. A lot of crafting cards craft with artifacts. If a card has multiple types, it's more useful to craft. So there are a number of artifact creatures that go up a little bit. And this one fixes your color. It's a 3/2. It's a pretty decent card. Do not sleep on it. Pirate Hat. Daring Discovery. All right, also worth noting, so Swamp Cycling, there are land cyclers for each of the colors, and they are also useful above and beyond just being a very flexible card. So the land cyclers are already flexible. You can early on turn them into lands. Late, They're big creatures. This creature is also kind of unbeatable in combat. It's huge for this format. But it's also worth noting that you can land cycle them and then get later use out of them crafting as well. So crafting does change a bit about how you value certain types of cards. Old Tech Archaeologist, Greedy Freebooter. Okay, so players should not remove the basic land from this set's draft boosters. Correct, because in most draft boosters, the basic land will actually be a cave, which is draftable. So the land slot in this set is draftable. Don't take out, here's your PSA, when you're drafting the set, don't take out the basic land. All right, so let's see. Pack one, pick one. Nothing immediately stands out to me. So obviously this is very good if we want to commit to like blue-green explore, which is really strong. The caves are very strong and sealed. I don't know how they are in draft. I haven't drafted this format yet. But generally speaking, you're going to be able to get one or two of these pretty late. So I don't think we would early pick it. I do like Tithing Blade. It's removal. Each opponent sacrifices a creature. Now that said, this set does have a number of creatures like Greedy Freebooter that take advantage of when they die, a thing happens. Worth noting that just if something's going to die and you craft with it from play, crafting exiles, so crafting a Greedy Freebooter that's in play won't do anything. You don't want to do that. I mean, you can do that, but in this case, boy, I kind of think that your options are Restless Vents. Element War Scribe is actually pretty strong. Scampering Surveyor, Current Conductor. I think you could make an argument for Basking Capybara and Rampaging Spiketail. Fun factor, I would go with Nikonzol. I think if I'm going to pick a two-color card, I would pick this over the land. The land is good, but less impactful, and this gives your deck a direction. I might pick Scampering Surveyor first as a general. Notice that it can grab a cave and put it into play tapped. So I'm really high on Scampering Surveyor, and in a pack with no amazing bombs, no fantastic removal, then the card I'm going to play all the time, every time, and be happy about it is probably the one I would pick. Was there anything important in the news section that I missed? We didn't actually end up doing news today. We always set that aside in case we have something we need to discuss, but nothing major today. Was any internal discussion about eradicating Cavern of Souls to be a cave? Not that I'm aware of. That doesn't mean it didn't happen, but it didn't reach my desk. And I'm on a need-to-know basis when things are happening publicly. All right. So yeah. All right. Next one, we got the token. All right. Cave. Cosmium Confluence. Very good cave card. Just a strong card. Forgotten Monument. Another cave. Gargantuan Leech. Cave card. Scampering Surveyor. Also says cave on it, by the way. We're 5 for 5 on cave cards. Chasm Stone Tree doesn't actually, well, it does say cave. Craft with cave ends here. Staggering Size has nothing to do with caves. All right, Nurturing Bristleback, Forest Cycler, also really good 7-drop. Abrade is probably in the lead, although Cosmian Confluence is pretty powerful. Song of Stupefaction, decent removal spell. Atali's Favor, Deep Goblin Skulltaker, Ironpaw Aspirant. So this card here is sort of innocuous looking. Enters the battlefield or is put in a graveyard from the battlefield. You draw a card and you lose a life. But there are a lot of things that sacrifice artifacts or You can use it to craft. You wouldn't get the card draw if you craft with it from play, but if you find a way to sacrifice it before then, which there are multiple ways to do, you get 2 uses out of it. So that card is a workhorse. Let's see. All right, so I think our options here, I gotta remind myself what this does. Okay, it just turned into a 5/5. I think our options here are Surveyor again. You could go with Gargantuan Leech, although I'd like to have some more caves to work with beforehand. A Braid is pretty much a slam dunk, so I think actually our options are a Braid. This set does have a number of artifacts in it, and a number of powerful artifacts, which gives a Braid additional utility. Or Cosmium Confluence, which has 3 modes, all of them. Destroy target enchantment isn't going to get used a ton in this format, but the others could. And note that you can search for a cave and then put counters on it. So Cosmium Confluence is certainly interesting as a big ramp spell / maybe that. Scampering Surveyor is the safe one, but I think I would take a Braid here. Yeah, thanks for sharing that pre-release primer in there. Pre-releases for the Lost Caverns of Ixalan start this Friday at your local game store. So make sure, if you haven't already, to pre-register. Call your local game store, ask about times and slots and all of that sort of stuff. You can just show up, but sometimes they're full. All right, we've got Captivating Cave and the Cave slot. We'll put the token there. Treasure Map, really strong artifact card. It's going to be hard to beat that in this set. Sinuous Benthesaur, Hermetic Nautilus, the Sunborn. Sunborn's a very strong card, but 2 colors. Grasping Shadows. I don't know what to think of this card. Other people are going to have to play with it. People who are better than me. Seems like it's actually got potential, but I don't know. Ancestral Reminiscence. This card is also really strong. Not only is this effect just generally good in draft, but the discarding a card is great for later crafting. Panicked Altasaur, Frilled Cave Worm, Thousand Moons, Crackshot, Join the Dead, Deconstruction Hammer, Ray of Ruin. Okay, so I think our options here are Treasure Map, Join the Dead, Ray of Ruin. Join the Dead is a premium removal spell. It will kill most anything. If you have Descend 4, it'll kill pretty much everything. Ray of Ruin, really good. Note that you can exile even non-basic lands. So say someone flips something like a Treasure Map, you can exile it. Now, that said, Treasure Map is colorless. It doesn't commit you to anything. It's really powerful. And this is a set where you can make treasure tokens in other ways, which means that even in limited, you may continue to have treasure after the fact. So I would pick Treasure Map there, and I would expect my next couple opponents to end up, or my next couple people I'm passing to end up in black. All right. Probably, maybe last pack. We'll see how long this takes. We'll see how long this takes. All right, and there are double face cards in the set, so you'll get some of these. All right, Cave. I talked about this card being really powerful. Exiling a graveyard is going to be really strong and limited. Gain 2 life, scry 2, pretty good. It's got flash, it's 3/1. The put a +1/+1 counter on it for each creature that left the battlefield under your control. Sort of a weird ability. This is obviously a card meant for Constructed, but I think it's still pretty powerful to consider in draft. All right, we've got an Explorer, a Double Strike Explorer, a Swashbuckler's Whip that can do some late game discovering. Lodestone Needle, Runaway Boulder, Malamet Veteran, big creature, Echo, Panicked Altasaur, Out of Air, Cosmium Blast, Deathcap Marionette, Acrobatic Leap, Gnar. All right, so cards that stand out to me. I'm going to say the flanker, obviously. Cosmium Blast is solid removal, 4 damage to target attacker or creature. We've seen that in a lot of sets. Swashbuckler's Whip is interesting. I haven't played with the set enough to know. It gives the creature reach. It turns them into a tapper. I don't know how often you're going to activate that Discover 10 ability, but it's there. Double Striker with Explore is pretty solid. Runaway Boulder's fine. It cycles, so it's always useful. Kind of interested what chat would pick here. I would lean early on in the format. I would probably take the flanker. It's flexible. It's a rare. You're not going to get many chances to try it out. Exile a Graveyard does a lot of work in this set, so I would probably lean towards that, but I could be convinced of something else. All right, before I go, I just want to share what's going on the rest of the year here on Weekly MTG, so you all have a sense of what's coming up, when there's going to be news, when you want to tune in, all that sort of jazz. So I'm going to pull up my handy-dandy schedule here, and we'll just talk through what we've got through the end of the year, because we've got the end of the year pretty much planned out. Next week is going to be kind of a sort of relaxed stream. We don't have any news or anything big planned, but it is my birthday week, so we're going to hang out. I don't know what we're going to do yet, but it's going to be what I want to do because it's my birthday week. It's not my actual birthday, but it's close enough. We are going to take off the week of November 21st for Thanksgiving, but we will be back on November 28th to talk about BNR philosophy a little bit more in depth and live. We talked about it over the summer when we introduced sort of the new cadence, but we will talk on the 28th about the overall philosophy. We'll talk about specific format philosophy, and we'll give some indications of where the team is thinking for the December 4th BNR announcement, which will be the next one. December 5th, as announced today, is going to be the first look at Murders at Karlov Manor. And then December 12th, we are going to take a look at Ravnica Remastered, because that set is coming up. That's what we have for the rest of the year. That'll likely be the last show, but we are excited to hang out with you all in the coming weeks, and I thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next week.